Hey everyone, today we have another video with Ed, or Riot Stat Magic, who is the lead on the new Season 9 changes. This one is all about splits and rewards. The announcement just came out, so if you haven't seen that, let me catch you up to speed. Each season will now be divided into 3 splits. Now in each split, you'll be able to earn split points that give you extra rewards along the way. Your ranks will not be resetting between splits, by the way, so you won't have to worry about that at all. The biggest thing that you're going to be earning from these split points are the upgrades to your ranked armor that will follow you everywhere outside and inside the game. The rank banner you have now that's in your lobby and stuff like that is going to show you last season's rank at the bottom of it, and then your current ranked badge with all the armor upgrades that you've collected so far. That is the gist of it, really. It's nothing super crazy. There are 3 splits, more rewards, and more to do during a season. But I did get the chance to talk to Ed and ask him a bunch of questions about what those extra rewards could look like. A lot of you will remember who he was from last video, but let's jump into it.
I think everybody knows who you are this time. Last time I was just like, yeah, who's this random person in my video? But so do you want to quickly introduce yourself, just like for anybody that didn't watch the last episode? I'll link it down below. I guess last time we talked about position ranks.
Yeah, sorry. I'm Ed. I go by Stat Magic, and I lead the rank team. And yeah, here to talk today about splits and rewards.
Does anything like kind of happen at the end of a split, like to make it distinct between each one? Like obviously ranks don't reset, right? I think.
Yeah, ranks don't reset. And so when I think about what do we want to get out of splits, right? There are a couple specific things. One, we want players themselves to have kind of just a moment in time to reassess how they're doing, right? You might start the season, you're like, I'm gonna hit diamond this season, and you get partway through and you're like, how am I doing, right? Am I on track? Am I playing the positions I want to be playing? Do I want to like reassess my goals and do something different? I think that's a big part of what splits will do. There are a couple other things too. One of them is about rewards. Right now, the season is basically 9 months long on average, and that means that you're pretty much kind of working toward a single set of rewards for that entire period of time. And so what we end up seeing is a lot of players will start playing really heavily at the start of the season because they're excited at the start of the season, right? It's really awesome. And then they'll take a really long break in the middle, and then they'll come back right at the end and they'll just like grind their hearts out and like probably burn out a little bit on League, which isn't great, right? Because they feel like they need to get, to their peak rank so that they can end the season really high.
Yeah.
I think what we want to do is we want to keep season rewards there, right? Because they actually play a really important part in kind of being that skill check, like, are you good enough to earn these, which I think is good. But what we want to do in addition is bring rewards throughout the season as well, so that we can really give you that like good feel of like working towards something while you are on your rank climb, you're on your rank journey, right? And so one of the things that we're doing with the split rewards, and one of the things that will happen at the end of the split, is at the end of each one, your reward progress is going to reset, and those rewards that were in that split will become unavailable. So if you haven't earned them, then you'll have a shot at the next set of rewards for the next split, but the ones that were in the previous split are just sort of like gone forever. And so I think that's kind of the motivation there of splits is, hey, I want to play during this period of time, which is about 3 months, because I want to earn these exclusive things, and they can kind of build on each other. So in the video we talked about the concept of the ranked armor and that upgrading split over split.
Yeah,
I think that's a good example of what we can do with splits, where it's like, well, if you didn't play in split 1, you didn't earn the first upgrade. You can earn the first upgrade in split 2, but that means you won't be able to earn the third upgrade by the end of split 3, right? So I think it's all about like rewarding players who are really engaged ranked players who are checking in frequently and playing throughout the season.
And you said, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you said something like if you only play a couple of games a day anyway, you'd be able to get everything throughout the splits, right? So it's not like only for the hardcore players. It's like pretty accessible to everybody as long as you play kind of consistently, I guess, throughout the 3, right?
Yeah. Yes. I think the goal is, if you are a player who is pretty average, like plays a few games a week, knocks out some wins, like that should be enough throughout a split to earn all of the rewards for that split. And then you'll come back the next split and do it again. The goal is not to turn ranked into this crazy hardcore grind where it's like thousands of games is the only way to get the reward package. It's like, it's not that at all, right? It's about kind of spreading out the time that players are playing so that they feel actually better about the games they are playing in ranked. I think one other thing about splits that we're hoping to be able to do is bundle more sorts of changes around splits. So you can imagine, hey, maybe there's some quality of life updates we want to make to ranked, or maybe you want to experiment with some of the split rewards, or perhaps there's some gameplay changes that we feel are important to, get bot lane back into a better place, or release new champions or reworks or things like that. I think those are all things that having splits and kind of a multi-part season allows us to do that we would feel a little bit more hesitant about doing right now, because players perceive that as just one gigantic block of time, and we've been pretty hesitant about making any changes throughout that entire 9-month period, which means we become very limited in the kinds of things that we can do, even if it's to improve the rank system.
So kind of like maybe like having 2 different mid seasons, I guess, like within, like as one ends, you then introduce some gameplay stuff that is a bit bigger to kind of introduce the next split. If you were going to do it, that would be the time that you would do it more. Is that
I don't think it's necessarily saying like, hey, we're gonna do multiple big changes per year and they're gonna happen every time on splits or whatever. I think the way you phrased it at the end was probably more accurate, which is like, if we feel the need to make bigger changes, or like if there are things about the rank system that we need to change, then those are good times to do it.
Just to clarify, like the start with the borders and stuff, right, from this season moving into next and stuff. So the way I understood it is there's going to be a badge on your kind of banner, like in lobbies and stuff like that kind of reflects your current rank and any armor upgrades that you're going to get, which would be from different splits, right? And then at the very bottom of that banner, you'll have the something that reflects like your rank from the previous season. But then, so if that's right, what about like loading screen and stuff? What shows on your loading screen border?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So it's really funny, like when we talked way back in April about changing the rank system, one of the things we talked about there was, your border now is going to reflect your current rank. And the thing that I get the question the most out on Twitter is like, you're taking away my previous rank, like you're removing my reward. Oh my gosh, Scott, and I keep saying like, no, we're gonna do something. Just hold on, we're gonna do a video, and then it was just like a total mess. So I'm glad we're making this video finally to clarify what's going on. So yeah, the idea behind the whole like armor and banner thing is we now have this piece of your identity, if you're a ranked player, that we can take and put in a bunch of places. And I think the problem that we have right now in the world that we live in today is you have your rank, and your current rank, the only place you ever see it is on your profile, and the only place anyone else sees it is on your profile. And so when you think about what ranked is for a lot of players, which is the end game of League, right? It's the rating of League of Legends. It's your progress, it's your identity. And I think the fact that it exists on your profile today is just not good enough. And I think it detracts from like the bragging rights, the feeling of progression, all that kind of stuff that we think is really important about the rank system. And so when we set out with the armor and the banner, we were like, okay, we're going to take this and put it in a bunch of places, right? And that includes the loading screen. The way that we think it's going to work on the loading screen, we're still like working out details, and that team is going to kill me if I just say that they're doing all this stuff and commit them to it. But the early thinking was, right when you start the loading process, you'll see kind of an intro, if you will, where you'll see everyone on your team's banners and emblems. So you'll get that taste of, this is their current rank, these are their armor upgrades, this is their past rank, and then that'll kind of fade back into the normal loading screen as you see it today, where the border there will represent your current rank. And there will be a way to like interact with the loading screen card to like pull up their armor and banner again if you want to. So if you're like, oh hey, I missed that thing during the intro, you should be able to kind of like click on that guy and see, or girl, and see what their emblem and banner is. I'm
guessing if you go up a rank, so if you're gold and you have your armor and then you go into plat, you're keeping the armor, right? You don't have to redo it all again. Like it'll go with you no matter what. Your split upgrades for your armor will pretty much always have
will always reflect whatever rank you are. So they don't go away. They don't stay the same rank as the previous one that you were or anything like that. You won't have these weird things where it's like you're currently gold, but you have like one bronze upgrade and like one silver upgrade, and it's just like my artists would kill me. Like they're just like, these colors don't work together. It's terrible. So yeah, no, it'll always be represent the same rank, and they don't reset except for the end of a season. And we were talking about, I don't think we've decided for sure yet, but one of the things that we've talked about is having your armor upgrades and things like that kind of carry into the preseason as well, and then maybe finally reset at the start of the season or something like that.
I think that would make sense. So obviously, because you got split points, you have the checkpoints along the way, right? I think in the video, there was 3 checkpoints, I think, to start with, right? I'm guessing the last one is probably the armor upgrade. But what kind of other stuff can we expect to have at the other checkpoints during it?
Well, I want to leave a little bit of a surprise, but in general, the armor upgrade is definitely going to be the big one, right? And when I think about why do I think that's a really good reward, it is for a couple reasons, and I think these reasons should extend to the other rewards that we do as well. It highlights your skill, right? You could imagine a reward where it's like, I won 10 games and you gave me a thing. And it's like, as a ranked player, that wouldn't feel particularly satisfying if you're just like, yeah, I participated in ranked. Like, if anything, we want our system to bias toward being highly competitive over being super accessible. And so I think like we want all of our rewards to make sure that they do have that skill vector in them, that like skill component. And so I think you'll probably see that most, if not all, of the split rewards will facilitate that in some way. I think it would be really cool for us to explore the in-game space as well with split rewards. So if there was that equivalent of your armor and banner that was like in the in-game space somehow, I don't know exactly what the right execution of that would look like, but you know, something along the lines of like an emote or something in the base or on the map, like the Clash banners that we've done or things like that. I think something that you can take in game that really highlights your skill and gives you those bragging rights, like in, you know, when you solo kill that person in lane or whatever, like that would be really cool.
Yeah. I know loads of people have asked this before, and I'm probably not the first one, but what do you think about integrating some sort of like Fortnite style battle pass into splits as well? Because I think it, like, one of the good things with the Fortnite thing is it pays for itself as long as you play enough, right? So there's like the initial investment, but then you get all this stuff that you earn by playing.
Honestly, I can't say whether we'll do a battle pass or not, but I can say that like we're always looking at what games are doing. We're always looking at what players want and what's going to be a good experience. I don't want a player to go be able to earn the really cool exclusive ranked only reward from a generic battle pass that, you know, they can earn XP from playing in PvP or from PvE or whatever, right? And so there are certain rewards I think that no matter what our ecosystem looks like, we'd probably want to come specifically from the rank system. But at the same time, like, you're right, splits, like having that time limited 3-month period or whatever, where maybe you opt into a battle pass and maybe you earn battle pass XP by playing ranked, and maybe you earn extra battle pass XP by playing different positions or things like that. Like, I could imagine a world where that would make total sense. I'm not aware of anything that we're doing in that space right now, but I think it's definitely something as a company and for the ranked product that I think, you know, makes sense to look at.
So if position ranks do actually come in, say in the second split, for example, is it going to be something where it's just like your highest rank that's taken for the rewards?
For season rewards, which is like the Victoria skin and whatever else we end up doing, those will be at a baseline. Those will be based on your highest rank, your highest position rank, and actually your highest rank of any queue as well. So if we have position ranks in solo duo, then you also have a rank in flex, and you have a rank in twisted tree line as well. So the idea is the highest of those should be used to gate, like, do you get the skin or not?
And then just finally, I guess I asked, obviously we talked about this, but I asked my audience whether like what they thought about all of this. So about 70% of people that answered it said they would play more if there were more rewards throughout the season. Funnily enough, the skins as a reward would have been the best thing. And then after
I'm sure it would be.
Yeah, I know. And after that, interestingly, it was like blue essence or RP. Whether it's like RP, blue essence, or just like a choice of, hey, here's I don't know, a choice of 3 skins. Pick which one you would actually use and which one you want for like the end of the season, something like that.
Yeah, we definitely talked about a lot of that stuff. Some ideas that we talked about and maybe we'll do them at some point, maybe we won't, were things like maybe we could do something where we bring back previous Victoria skins or something like that, do a special border for the people who earn them the first time around, but let you choose which Victoria skin you wanted to earn at the end of the season, or do some kind of a currency thing where older ones are more expensive, but you can spend the currency somehow to unlock the stuff that you want. We also did talk about giving blue essence, giving, loot chests, things like that. I think for me, what it comes down to with some of those, especially like giving currency, it ends up making players who actually don't want to play ranked, who just are really satisfied playing normal games or ARAMs or whatever with their friends, it makes them feel like the optimal way to play the game, the way to get the currency to get all the champions and skins they want, is to go play a mode that they don't have fun with. And I think that sucks. Like we probably don't want to do that. So I think that's one reason why we would probably not give out things like currency from the rank system. I think if we had a battle pass, that would be the perfect place to do that, right? Is like, hey, you play ranked, you can earn XP for your battle pass, and then you get blue essence through the battle pass. I think that'd be fine as long as there's other ways to earn toward it. But in a world where we don't have that, it probably doesn't make that much sense to put blue essence or RP or orange essence or whatever in the rank system itself. I think that for me, when I think about the rank system and the kinds of rewards it should give out, personally, I think it should be less in the vein of it's like just stuff that you could get in other ways. Like I think it should be less of the skins and the whatever, and more of the kind of what I was talking about before, right? Which is the bragging rights, the showing off your skill, the recognizing your journey, the like stuff that you, as a ranked player who identifies as a someone who ranked is a big part of their experience in League of Legends, they should feel like things that reinforce that and give you an identity, as opposed to just us throwing money at you to play a mode, right? Because a lot of the motivation that players have for playing ranked is and should be intrinsic. It is, I want to be a really good player. I want to be the best player. I want to be better than my friends, whatever it might be. And I think that in itself is a pretty substantial reward. And I think we can create content and other things that reinforce that rather than replace it with some other motivation, right? I think an example of where we've done this particularly well for next year is with the armor upgrades and with the Challenger recall that we talked about a little bit in the article. I don't know if we sent it over to you, but the Challenger recall that's launching next season will basically, whenever you're Challenger, will give you that kind of like golden different particle effects. And that's cool, right? Like other people see that in the game and they're like, oh, you're a Challenger, you're an awesome player. I think those are the kinds of rewards we should be striving to give, as opposed to here's another skin, here's another loot chest, whatever. I think we could do that in more satisfying ways.
Yeah, okay, that's everything I've got. Thank you very much for answering everything. I guess everyone can pretty much quiz you on Twitter anyway, right? I see you pretty active answering questions, so I'll link Ed's Twitter down below. And if you have any questions, you can go and hit him up instead. You can. I know he watches the video though, so you can always leave them in the comments. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.
Thanks. See ya.